Hey everybody, Poker Dad here. Time for another episode of Poker Dad Poker Study. Like I said, I plan on doing these almost every day. Some days I won't be able to do them, and if I'm not playing, then it's not going to matter because I will not study. I will not play unless I do my study. And this is just one portion of it. And I'm going to do another range review today. So the range review I'm going to be doing today is going to be from NL5 Fast Fold from Zone. So I think this is I'm playing NL5 Zone, and I'm playing America's Card Room NL5. So, these are things obviously I want to be doing some range reviews based on what I'm exactly playing. Now, of course, this is Regal's Poker, but I do have actually general stats on each position. And in NL5 Zone, believe it or not, the players are pretty reggish there. So when I go over whatever hand, I'm going to go over what my accumulated stats are to this point. I've only played about 1,800 hands since I started using Poker Tracker 4 and transferring converting stats over to Poker Tracker 4. So it's only 1,800 hands worth of data, but it's still pretty decent. So I'm going to pick randomly a hand here. So we got raise, bet, bet, check, raise, bet, call, raise. This one looks like an interesting one. Raise, bet, call, raise. I'd like to get another situation where I call. This is call, raise, call, call, call. Call, raise, call, call, raise, bet, bet, bet. This one here, I'm like being the aggressor. All right, let's figure this one out here. Raise, bet, bet, bet. Let's take a look at this one. Oh, whoops, didn't mean to do that. All right, let's not do that because we just saw the answer. Raise, call, bet, call. All right, we'll do this one. Raise, call, bet, call. Let's see, replay hand. Okay. So let's see. I am in the button here. So let's just see how the action starts off, and then I'll talk about what kind of stats we have on the general player here, which is I guess you can end up looking at as kind of a population read for the players. I mean, just to let you know. So this is under the gun. So under the gun through 1.7k hands. Just as again a generality, I think is what, I don't know. It's 22 VPIP, 15 PFR, 7-3 bet. Here middle position 24, 24, 15, and 4, and so you see that middle positions are not raising the undergun very often. Cutoff 26, 16. So these are all like real reggish type numbers. So you're playing definitely a more, everybody's for the most part playing kind of a tag style game here at NL5 Zone, which then makes sense on why the zone games are tougher than the regular table games at Ignition. Because of the fact that you pretty much have everybody playing tag style games, which is interesting and probably not great to be playing when you know that you're dealing pretty much as a generality reg type players. But however, you definitely are dealing with a lot of recreational players as well. So this is just an average of the type of player that you're playing. So anyway, let's take a look here at how the action starts. So I raise it up 3 big blinds from the button, and we get a call from the big blind. So now, on average, the big blind VPIP is 31. So we're going to take, but their Three bet is 6. All right, so that's how we're going to figure out how we're going to figure out what their range would be. But first, let's just get what my what my button range is. So we'll use this one for mine. So my button range, open range, is pretty big here. 36.7%, 486 combos is my opening range. And let's see the range. So I said that with these particular players, and I just want to look at their aggressiveness real quick. So I have their aggression factor. They get more aggressive as the hand goes on. So I have a 16% aggression at flop, a 22% aggression. Yeah, I think I can show you this way. All right, so yeah, flop aggression is 15.75, turn aggression is 22.29, and river aggression is 29.31. So what this kind of tells you is that the more they're betting, the more that they are betting, the better chances are that they're betting for value. So if they're not aggressive, then and they're being passive, then they're not betting for value. And I think that kind of goes without saying. But the point is, there's a very good chance you're not going to be bluffed here at zone, and it's going to be a very straightforward ABC type game. So we can definitely keep that in mind, that you're not going to be seeing a lot of bluffing, especially on the later streets, and even on the flop. Again, they're very passive on the flop, since their total aggression factor is 20, their flop aggression factor is 16, so they're actually less aggressive on the flop. And interesting also to note that their fold to C bet is, again, not a huge sample size, of course, is 42.61. But still, again, just a generality. Every player is going to be different that you can be playing, but it's just a baseline that you can definitely go off of. So I said for the big blind is 31 and 6. All right, so what we'll do is we'll take 31%. And we'll move this to 6. And by the way, in yesterday's video, I realized what I was doing wrong with the suits. By the way, I didn't realize I had to do a different box for every single suit here that I wanted to, or every combination I wanted to do. All right, so these are the types of hands that we think we're going to get. This is the button, the big blind range that we're going to go with here. So we got all of these considering here for potential 3 bets that we're not going to put into this particular player's range. Even though, again, this is just this player that we're playing right now could be completely different. And if you want to even lower the 3 bet a little bit, I'd be fine with that. Something like this, I think is fine too. And we can go with it from there. So let's see what happens here on the flop. So on the flop we have 8 of spades, 9 of hearts, and 3 of diamonds. So now let's start figuring this stuff out, what's going to actually be happening here. First, let's just look at these ranges side by side, by the way. This is through Hold'em EQ. So right now I do have a slight range advantage over him in equity, 52. So it's pretty balanced. I mean, if we look at the 2 ranges side by side, let me just fix this here. If we look at the 2 ranges side by side, we'll see they are very similar to each other. So basically, my range is consisting of all suited kings, suited queens up to 6, then a bunch of suited jacks, all these jacks and queens here, the 9s here, and aces all the way down to 4, all the pocket pairs, some suited gappers here, where our opponent's range estimating is all the suited aces, some suited kings, some suited queens, these middle aces here, all these cards here, some pocket pairs, some suited gappers, all in the big blinds range. So let's see how the betting starts. So our opponent um, throws out a one big blind bet and we call it. So usually when we see a situation like this where, I mean, first of all, he is donking out. We know that these players are generally passive, and we know now that we are definitely playing versus a recreational player. Also, another giveaway that we're playing versus a recreational player is the fact that he only started this hand with about 45 big blinds, so he's not topping up. So you know what? Because we know he is a recreational player, he's going to probably play very straightforward. He's probably not going to bluff too much here. And a one big blind bet is just like me and you doing a half pot bet. Um, so I wouldn't really read, like with these recreational players, I wouldn't really read too much into their bet size, but read more into their actions. The fact that he did bet into this board here. Um, and And the issue here from my range is I'm going to call with an extremely wide range because of the amazing pot odds I'm getting. So let's take a look. Let's go back to Flopzilla first. And let's just go to his range first. I should have... Alright, so it's 8 of spades. I can see it down here. 8 of spades, 9 of hearts, and 3 of diamonds. So first, let's just take a look. The equity... he's got a slight advantage over me on this particular board. He has sets like 9-9, 8-8, and 3-3. He's got two combos of a two pair with 9-8. He's got his. Oh, I'm sorry. This is my range. This is my range. I'm looking at the wrong one. I want to look at his. I apologize. Let's look at his. So he has sets of 8s and sets of 3s. So he doesn't have, we don't think he has 9s. He's got the 9-8 suited, two combos of that. He's got no over pairs. He's got top pairs of all of these 9s. He's got middle pairs here about 8.94%. I just want to look actually at number of combos. Really kind of more interested in number of combos. So middle pair, he has 27 combos of middle pair, 36 combos of weak pairs. So he has more weak pairs. He has more weak pairs than he has of middle pairs. Ace high, he has 32 combos of ace high. He's got a bunch of no-made hands, but we know he's not betting with something like that anyway. Open-end straight draws, he's got 20 combos of open-end straight draws, jack 10s and 7-6. Gut shots, he's got 40 combos of that, so he's got queen 10s, queen jack, 7-5, 6-5. And he's got a bunch of overcards and so forth and so on. So now let's just try and figure out what is he going to be leading out the betting with. So ace jack suited, ace jack suited here, 8-9. I don't believe he would be. There's no flush draws really here, unless you wanted to count backdoor flush draws, which I can think about more with maybe my range. But ace jack suited here, I don't believe he's going to be donk betting into us, even though it's one big blind. Again, I'm not going to read into that because he definitely is a recreational player. So we're not going to put I think we're going to be very straightforward here. Ace 10 suited again. He's not going to do that. Ace 9 suited, he would. Ace 8 suited, he would. I think he would do it with any pair, to be honest. So Ace 7 suited, Ace 6 suited, Ace 5 suited. So really, these hands here is what he's doing this with. King Jack suited, no. 9-10, King 10 suited, no. King 9, yes. King 8, yes. King 7, no. King Queen offsuit, no. King, because one other thing I want to just remind us also is the fact that he wasn't a preflop aggressor, so this isn't a C bet attempt. This is a donk bet. Queen Jack suited. Would he donk bet into us with a gut shot? So I'm gonna actually. I mean, they're passive. I think. And he's a fish too. And I don't think he's very aggressive because of the fact he's using one big blind. But I think it would not be the worst idea to say that he might do this with a gut shot. So I'm going to leave the gut shot in there. Um, Again, here, same thing. Queen 10 suited, we can keep in there. Obviously, Queen 9, Queen 8. Ace Jack off, we'll take out. King Jack off, we'll take out. Queen Jack off, we'll keep in. Jack 10 suited, which is an open ender, we'll definitely keep in. Jack 9 suited. Ace 10 offsuit we'll take out. King 10 offsuit we'll take out. Queen 10 will keep. Jack 10 will keep. Open ender. 10 9 will keep. 10 8 will keep. Ace 9 offsuit will keep. All these nines we're going to keep. Ace 8 will keep. 8 8. All these 8s we're going to keep. 7 7. This becomes the interesting spot here. I think I could see him betting all these pocket pairs except for the two, except for twos. Obviously, sets he's going to be with 8 8 and 3 3. But I could actually see a player like this actually betting 7 7 6 6 5 5 for 4 here on the flop, at least on the flop. So 7 6 would be an open ender. We'll keep that. This is a gut shot. We'll keep that. Yeah, gut shot. 6 4 suited. 4 5 6 7. No, I don't think. I don't. Well, 3 4. Yeah, I don't think he'd be keeping a 6 4 suited. 5 4 suited. I don't see him keeping. Yeah, no. And 4 3. 4 3 suited. Yeah, I mean it's a pair, so I think we can leave it in there. All right, so this is what I think that he is docking out. It's still pretty big range here, because I think he could be docking out with any pair on the board, any pair or better on the board. So I think this is a good spot to go. Now, I think I'm going to be calling very wide here, very wide. So because this is almost like a check. So the hands though that I think we could eliminate from my range are hands that completely whiff without overcards, and we can eliminate hands that I would raise. So I would raise hands like open enders. I might raise gut shots. I'm going to raise. I'm definitely going to raise over pairs. I'm going to raise sets, 2 pairs. I'm going to raise those. So all the other hands there are the hands that I'm going to just call a 1 big blind bet. So let's go hand by hand. So ace ace, I'm definitely going to raise. Ace king suited. Ace king suited on this board, I would call the 1 big blind bet. Ace queen suited, I would call the 1 big blind bet. So all these here, I would call the 1 big blind bet. Ace 9 suited, actually, I think is one that I would actually raise him, just because it's the top pair, top kicker. I think this would be a spot that I would definitely raise. Although, actually, I'm gonna say this. Okay, I'm not gonna raise Ace 9 suited, and I'll tell you why. The reason I'm not raising Ace 9 suited is because he's short stacked, and my concern here with such, which is definitely could be a weak hand. It's the strongest hand right now, but still not that great of a hand. My fear with him being short stack, and I do see this a lot, especially in zone, is if I raise him, he may now shove all in. So for that reason, because he's short stack, I don't really see it. I wouldn't see an advantage with raising with top pair. So ace 9. So ace 9 suited. Actually, I would just call that 1 big blind bet. Same thing with the ace 8, ace 7. So all these aces here. All of them. No. Let's see. Hang on. There are going to be some I'm going to fold. There'll be some I'm gonna fold too. So let's see. Let's just go. Let's not get lazy here and skip ahead. Let's go one by one. So Ace Jack suited. I'm gonna call it. Ace 10 suited, definitely gonna call because I have I have backdoor straight draws here with the Jack and the 10. Um, the Ace King and Ace Queen. It's just these overcards. I can't fold them to a one big blind bet, of course. So Ace 9 suited. I said we're gonna call it. Ace 8 suited. Ace 7 suited again. You got the backdoor straight draws still. Ace 6 suited. I could definitely call Ace 6 suited. Um, Ace 5 suited. Again, yeah, just because of the although Ace 5 suited. Let's see, Ace 5 suited, I guess, is Ace 5 suited is actually good too because if a 2 and a 4 comes out, then I have a straight. So yeah, I can call Ace 5 suited. Like Ace 6 suited. Um, so let's see if I have a 6. If a 7 and a 10 come out, I'm on the wrong side of the straight. And if I have a 6, a 4, and a 5 come out, that doesn't really do anything for me. If a 7 and a 5 come out, that doesn't really do anything for me either. So Ace 6 suited actually could be a hand I could fold here. Because, yeah, I think I can fold Ace 6 suited. It's just not going to do anything for me. Ace 5 suited, I said we'll keep because we do have the back door with the 4 and the 2 if they come out. And Ace 4, the same thing. If the 5, if a 5 comes out and a 2 comes out, yeah. I mean, obviously, the only problem with the Ace 4 is if the 2 comes out and the 4 comes out, we're in danger of our opponent having a 6. How many 6s does he have in his range? He's got the 6-5 suited. He's got 6-6. He has 7-6. He doesn't have. He's 8-6. He has. All right, so he has a decent amount of 6s in his range still that he can. That I think it could be okay to let go of the Ace 4 here. I think he has an. I wish I had a way to see. I don't know if there is a way for me to see exactly how many 6s he has in his range, but I guess 6-5 suited. What? There's 4 of those, right? 6-5 suited is 4 of those, right? So 6-5 suited, 4 of those. 6-6 is 3 of these. 7-6. Yeah, there's enough 6s in his range that I actually think that I could not call the Ace 4. Ace 4, again, if the 2 and the 5 come out. Well, actually, no. If the 2 and the 5 come out, like he would need to have 6-4, right? He would need to have 6-4 to have a straight. So actually, and 6-4, I don't think he has 6-4. No, we don't put it. We don't have a 6-4 in his range. So because we don't have 6-4 in his range, actually, I guess Ace 4 is okay. Because if a 2 and a 4, a 2 and a 5 come out, he wouldn't have a 6-4. So actually, Ace 4 suited, I can keep in there. All right. So that's it. Yeah. Okay. So that's what we'll do there. Ace 3, I'm definitely gonna call, and then Ace 2. So Ace 2. Again, so if a 5, we need a 5 and a 4 to come out. So he would need a 6 and a 2. He would need a 6 and a 2 to have a straight. So Ace 2, we can bet Ace 2. Let me just go back to this Ace 6 here. So Ace 6, what was my concern? My Ace 6 concern was if 4-5 comes out, he would need a 7. All he needs is a 7. He's got so many 7s. Well, wait, no. 4-5 comes out. Wait, what am I? Oh, what am I messing up here? This is okay. This is the opposite. This would be 6-7. It would be 6. We need a 7 and a 10. Wait. If I have a 6 and a 7 comes out, now I have an open ender. So if a 5 comes out next, I'd have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I guess I can actually call the 6 too. Because what am I worried about here? If a 6 comes out, he would need 10-7 to have a better straight. He would need to have 10-7 to have a better straight. And we don't have 10-7 in his range. So actually then I can call that too. Because he would need 10-7 to have a better straight. Alright. So actually I can keep all these suited aces here actually. Alright, so ace king offsuit. Obviously we're going to call. King king will raise. King queen suited will call. King jack suited we will call. King 10 suited will call. King 9, king 8, king 7 suited. Yeah, so king 7 suited, kind of the same thing here. If we get a 7, so then if we get a 10 and then a 6, or a jack and a 10. So jack 10, actually king 7 might not be a good card to hold on to, because the turn has to be a 6 or a 5. If the turn is a jack or a 10, then I could, then that might not be good for me here, because our opponent's going to have jacks, more jacks in his range. So I think actually king 7, I can get rid of king 7 here. Because I would need to have 5-6, and if 5-6 comes out, 7-8-9, well, again, I have the 7. So 5-6 comes out, 7-8-9. I have the 7. So I guess then that's okay. I don't have to worry about him having a straight on a 5-6. But if a jack and a 10 come out, then my 7 is in trouble. But I guess I can worry about that more on the turn here. I think for this particular call, it's okay to call the king 7. I shouldn't fold the king 7 here. And then if a 10 or a jack did come out next, then I can actually fold it then at that point. But I think here at this point, the 7 I can keep. So the 6 I can keep. So so okay, I'm not going to rush ahead. The king 6. Again, so if I have a 6, and this is the same scenario with the 10 and the 7, same scenario, that doesn't change. So king 5 changes things, I think, though, because ace 5 and king 5 are completely different. For me to get a straight with the 5, yeah, we would need too much. So king 5, 5, 6, 7, yeah. I would need a 6 and a 7, and if he has a 10, then I'm dead and buried there. And you would need 3 cards here. So king 5 we can get rid of. King 5 definitely we can get rid of. King 4, I think it's really the same. It's the same thing. We would need 3 cards for a straight, and that's never going to happen mathematically because we don't get any more cards. King 3, and then king 2 we can dump. All right, so king 5, king 4, and king 2, all those cards we can fold. So ace queen offsuit, the overcards we're going to keep. King queen offsuit, again we're going to call the overcards there. Queen queen we would definitely raise. King Jack suited, King 10, Queen 10 suited, definitely. Um, with them having gut shots and Queen 9, Queen 8. So Queen 7, 7, 8, 9, 10 Jack. Same idea as the King 7. It's the same scenario, so we're going to keep that. The same thing with the Queen 6. We can hold on to that as well. Same scenario as before. We can reevaluate on the river. I mean on the turn. So we're not going to fold that. And we're not going to raise it, of course. So Ace Jack. Ace Jack offsuit here. Again, we're just going to call. King Jack offsuit again, same idea. Queen Jack offsuit, Jack Gem. We're gonna raise. So 10 Jack, I would actually raise here, with it being an open ender. So 8, 9, 10 Jack. So we're gonna take that out of our range. And Jack 9 suited, Jack 8, and again the same story here. 7, 8, 9, 10. This is even better, of course. The Jack 7, because both of these cards already make a gut shot. So that's a beautiful thing. So actually, Jack 7 suited gut shot. I can raise. Again, it's like, do I want to raise? I don't really want to raise a gut shot. I'm okay raising an open ender into the short stack because I have more outs. But I don't think I'm okay with raising a gut shot versus the short stack. I think I'm better off just calling it. Because again, I don't want to get shoved in that situation with a gut shot. I don't know if that's being too passive or not, but again, versus short stack player, I just don't think it's the right play. I don't think it's the right play. That's something, actually, I'm going to take a note right now because I want to ask my Facebook group that I'm in. I don't know what to do with my pen. Great, I lost my pen. Yeah, I'm just going to write a note here on my notepad here. Ask Facebook group how to handle a gut shot when a min bet donk leads in and they are below 50 big blinds. Should I raise or should I just call? All right, it's good. I think it's a good question. I don't know the answer to it. I'm going to find out the answer. Okay. Where are we next in this process? So we are Jack 7, so Ace 10 off will call, King 10 off will call. We'll call all these. The Jack 10 off, we're definitely going to raise. Because obviously, if that's the case, right, and if I should be raising these gut shots, then Queen Jack offsuit I would raise, Queen 10 offsuit I would raise. Since these are high end gut shots. You could also make the case of only raising your low end gut shots as bluffs and calling these for potential value. Could be another way to look at it. So actually, let me just add on to that. If I am going to raise, would you just raise your low end gut shots and call your high end gut shots? So we'll find out. We'll see what people's opinion are on this. I'm not really sure. Okay. 10-10, going to definitely be raising that. And 10-9 suited, we will call. 10-8 suited, we'll call. And 79-10, that's going to be 79-10 is going to be an open ender, so we're definitely going to raise that. Ace 9 offsuit, we will call. King 9 offsuit, we will call. All these will call. 9-9, we're definitely going to raise. 9-8 suited, we'll definitely raise. 9-7 suited, we'll call. Ace 8 offsuit, we will call. 8-8, we will raise. Ace 8-7 will call. 8-6 will call. A7 offsuit. A7 offsuit we will call. 7-7. A 7-7 I'm going to be hard pressed to fold yet. Uh, um, I mean, obviously, if I'm keeping all those 7-7s, I'm going to keep 7-7. Plus, I'd just be hard pressed to fold this on a min bet. I don't love calling it. I don't think anything's going to come out of it. Because even if a 7 comes out, if he has Jack 10, my set is losing to his straight. And he does have Jack 10. He does have Jack 10s in his range. So I'm not going to love it. And there is merit to just folding the 7-7 here. But I could hold on to it right now in case he gets passive and starts checking the rest of the way down. 7-7 might be the best hand if he is, for whatever reason, bluffing here. So I think 7-7 is okay to hold on to, but just for one street, just for this flop, and we'll get rid of it on the turn. 7-6 is an open ender, so we would definitely raise that. And 5-7 is a gut shot. So this is like my question is like, would I be better off raising the 5-7 and calling the Queen 10 and the Queen Jack? I think that's an interesting question. In fact, let's just say, for example, the board is, and I'll actually just use this here. 3 diamonds, 8 of spades. 3 diamond, 8 of spade, 9 of heart. And we have either Queen 10 off, Jack, Queen Jack off, or 7-5 suited. Actually, I don't even need to put off at this, but or 7-5 suited. Would we call the queen combos but raise the 7-5 suited? I think this is actually a great question. Okay. A6 offsuit we're going to keep. 6-6. 6-6 here. Yeah, I can keep the 6. I think I can keep the 6-6. I think the 6-6, the 5-5, and the 4-4. All of these here we can keep. I'm just going to get rid of the 2-2. Let's see, 6-5. Again, we're talking about a gut shot situation. So we're going to call it 4-6. A 2 and a 5 come out. Then, right? Well, no, we would need either. Well, if a 7, if I have 4-6, a 7 helps me, and a 7 and if a 7 and a 5 come out, and I have a 6, then we have a straight, and I'm not worried about somebody having 10-6, so 6-4 is okay, and 5-4. If an ace and a 2 come out, we're okay. If a 6 and a 7 come out, we're probably in trouble. So this 5-4 we can call with the hopes that an ace and a 2 come out. So I think we're okay calling those. And let's see, ace 5 we determined is okay. Ace 4 we determined already is okay. So this is what we're going to go with here. All right, so obviously I'm continuing with a huge part of my range. Oh, 3-3. I'm sorry, 3-3 we got to get rid of. That's a set. So 3-3 we're raising. So this is a huge part of my range that I'm going to continue with, but because he bet one big blind, we just have to continue with these hands. We can't fold these hands. There's just such a small amount of hands that we're folding, and most of the hands that we are not calling, we're raising with. So I think that's pretty interesting. All right, I'm going to be right back in 1 second. I just want to get a glass of water because this has been a pretty intense range review so far, and we're only on the flop. But I'm enjoying the hell out of this. So, okay, I am back. Got a glass of water. Used the bathroom. Had a little snack. So let's get on with this hand. So let's see, what is the equity looking like at this point. Um, so the top one is me, right? No, which yeah, the top one is me. So right now, actually, I'm behind in this hand to him. This is him right here, and this is me. So because I didn't, I would have raised one of these other hands. I am behind right now. Um, And I guess that kind of makes sense because I'm not the aggressor here in his hand to think that I might be behind. So he's 61% equity to my 38% equity. But obviously, again, I mean, that bet was a min bet. So, you know, there are a bunch of hands that we're going to definitely call it with. Let's get on to the turn. So the turn brings a 5 of hearts. And now let's see what that, so that 5 of hearts is, I'd say, one of the interesting cards that we were looking for. Now that 6-7 does make a straight there, set it open ended with the 6-7. That that makes a straight. We held on to 5, so 5s gives us a set, gives him a set as well, of course, possibly. Let's see what else. If we had 2 hearts, we do have a flush draw now. What else? What else can we have going here? If we had 3-4, did we have 3-4 in our range? We did have 4th. This is I'm getting confused on whose range was whose. This was my range. No, we didn't have 3-4. He has 3-4. So 3-4 would give him a straight too. So 3-4 would give him a straight. So let's put in 5 of hearts. Let's figure this out now. Let's see what happens with the betting. So this time now he checks to us. So he is a passive fish at this point. We can say that with the check. He did that little bet, which is kind of an aggressive move for him. We did say that he could be betting with open-enders and things like that. And now I put out a bet of 5.2 big blinds in which he calls. So he check calls here. Check calling is interesting. Why would he check? Why would he check? He donked out, and then he does a check call. A 5 came out, and he check called. Almost feels like a slow play in a way. Almost feels like a slow play in a way because the check call I don't quite understand after he donked out. All right, let's try and figure this out. Let's figure this out. What is he check calling with? All right, so this is his range here. What is he check calling with here? Ace 9. I because he's a recreational player, I'm gonna keep these pairs in there. Um, so open enders. I think open enders get folded at this point by a player like this. I don't see this player calling the open ender. Or does a gut shot? Uh, all the draws. I'm going to take these draws out of his range. I'm going to take the draws out of his range. Um, I think a player like this who gets more aggressive on, or the player type gets more aggressive on the turn. This guy's a passive fish, though. I believe he's a passive fish. He's short stacked. Is a short stack going to call? Is he going to call a turn? No. If anything, what he might do is check call the turn and then shove the river. I don't think he's wasting chips like this calling with draws. So, um, yeah, yeah, because it would be interesting. I'm gonna do something here. This ace eight and this ace three. I'm gonna make these. Well, I don't have to. I don't have to. Obviously, I'm not going. No, I'm not going to say specifically. But did I have this board correct, by the way? Yeah. It is always possible that this ace eight and this ace three are hearts. But I'm not going to just say they're hearts. But just for the sake of argument, would I be shocked if he check called with ace eight of hearts and ace three of hearts? No. Um, so I don't think but we can't take out the we can't take out the other potential combinations. There's the clubs and there's also there's the clubs, um, and then of course there's the spades when we're talking about the three. So um, and then of course you know the hearts as well. So I don't think we can take anything out here, but it would not shock me if you saw ace eight of spades. I mean ace eight of hearts or ace three of hearts here at the end. Would not shock me. Um, Specifically that for a check call. So this is so the queen 10. I'm going to take this out. Queen jack, jack 10. I'm pretty much leaving him with some kind of pairs at this point. Uh, and sets of course. And two pairs of course. So queen 10 we could take out, jack 10. All these nines will keep. This ace 8 will keep. 8 8 is a set. Um, I mean, the question now is he capable of folding 7 7 and 6 6? I'm not sure he is. If he was a reg, yes, I would eliminate those right away. But because he's a recreational player, I can't eliminate 7 7 and 6 6. 5 5 gives him a set, and 4 4. I think I could eliminate 4 4, but I can't eliminate 7 7 and 6 6. Reason why is just because the 5 coming out, if he already had 7 7 and 6 6 and he bet those originally, the 5 coming out isn't going to change his opinion on the 7 7 and 6 6, but it will change it to the 4 4 because of the fact that now you have another card that's better than potentially a pair of fours, which is why we could take the fours out. So 9-8 suited, of course, we have two pair. 9, we got the 9 there. 8-7 suited, we got the pair. 8-6 suited, we got the pair. Obviously, this could also still turn into a straight. 7-6 suited, we're going to get rid of this. And again, I'm just thinking on the point of view of how I feel a recreational player would, especially one like this, would react. And again, I could be completely wrong. But again, this is, we don't really know what's inside this guy's head, of course. So 7-5 suited, he'll keep with the 5 being there. So he only has a few 5s. He got 7-5 suited, 6-5 suited, and now potentially a set of 5s as well. And 4-3 will keep, and 3-3 will keep. Although you would think 4-3 he might dump 4-3. You think maybe he would dump 4-3 and ace-3 at this point to a check call ace-3. I mean, this bottom pair, is he really going to call with bottom pair here? I'm going to leave it in because I'm not going to assume he wouldn't. Again, if this was a reg we were playing, I'm thinking the player type here. If this were a reg here, or a tight player here, then I could definitely take those 3s out. But because he's definitely on the more recreational side, which means sometimes he's going to stay with these types of hands, I can keep them actually in his range. So this is what we're looking at for him. Now the question comes on what I'm doing. So he checks to me, and I am now betting. So what kind of hands would I bet here? So I'm going to bet. I'm going to probably bet a large amount of my range that involves, because the way I'm looking at it is, if my opponent checks to me on a turn, there is a chance that he is giving up. Now, am I at risk for a check raise or a check shove in a situation? Sure. And if you think about it versus a player like this, I think I should be going, if I'm not betting for value, okay, if I'm betting for a bluff versus a player like this at anonymous tables where balance isn't important, I could just throw out a small bet, and if he folds, great, and if he doesn't, maybe I'm still behind, but I didn't spew off too much money, so I can do a small bet. And if I'm betting for value, then I'm going to want to bet bigger. Now, my bet here was 5.2 into 8.4, so it was about a close to a 66% bet here, which makes me feel like, in this spot I'm here, I'm betting for value. But that being said, I'm going to just take the approach of betting. So forget about how much I bet in this particular hand here, because I'm not hand reading myself. I'm more thinking in my range. I'm going to forget about the amount that I bet here, and let's just say that I am betting, because I don't know what my thought process was in this particular situation. But if I were to be doing this today, and if I'm betting, I'll just say that, okay, here I'd bet, maybe half pot, maybe a little below half pot, and here I would bet bigger because I'm betting for value. So ace king suited. Ace king suited, I'm just going to check here. I'm not going to bet ace king suited. So we'll get rid of ace king suited. Now ace queen suited, definitely at this point, this hand is kind of dead. So this is a hand that I would definitely just be checking. Ace jack suited. So ace jack suited, yeah, is a dead hand at this point. We can't make a straight anymore. So I would just be checking back on this one. Ace 10 suited, same thing, I would be checking back. Ace 9 suited here, definitely I would throw out a bet. Absolutely, I would throw out a bet here. Ace 8 suited, I would definitely check back, because it's not top pair on his board. It's not really a bluff. So this is a hand that I could definitely just check down with. And I wouldn't want to be trying to bet for value with ace 8, where I could potentially bet for value with ace 9, just because it is top pair, top kicker. But I'll address the other 9s in a minute. So ace 8 suited, I would check back. Ace 7 suited here. So ace 7 suited. Let's see. If a 6 comes out, then we have a straight. So ace 7 suited. So ace 7 suited, I could definitely bet half pot, and to get the fold. So ace 7 suited, I think, is a hand that I can definitely bet. Same thing goes for ace 6 suited. It's a hand that I could definitely bet here. Ace 5 suited, I would definitely check back. And ace 4 suited would be a gut shot. So this is a hand that I can definitely bet here. I would bet half pot or lower here. Ace 3 suited, we would check back. And ace 2 suited, again, I can just bet this as a bluff, half pot or less, off of his check. Ace king offsuit, I'm going to check back. King queen suited will check back. I'm just thinking about. So these hands here, the ace I'm not. All right, so actually king queen suited, I'm going to bet hearts. I'm going to bet hearts here, actually, as a bluff. So the aces, I'm going to check. The other ones here, I'm going to bet. So I'm going to bet king queen suit, king queen of hearts, king jack of hearts, king 10 of hearts. King 9, I'm going to actually check back. I'm going to check back king 8 and king 7 of hearts and king 6 of hearts and king 3. King 3, I'm going to actually king 3, I'm just going to completely check back. So I'm going to take this out, take this out, take this out, because now I do have a flush draw here. So I think this is actually a good spot for me to bet, potentially get the fold. And of course, there is always a possibility that I can hit my hand on the river, so it could be partially for value. But again, so these hands here, I'm going to bet, but I'm going to bet half pot or less, and just see if we get a fold, because he's going to fold if he has absolutely nothing, and if he can call, we'll deal with what we have to do on the river based on what card comes out. If obviously if we hit one of these draws, great, we're betting for value. If not, we can kind of play it a little bit passively based on what he does. If he bets big, we could always fold, and even like with something like ace 9, we could always fold. So ace queen offsuit will definitely be checking back. King queen off will definitely check back. And again here, same thing. Queen jack suited, king 10 suited, queen 7 suited, queen 6 suited, and these hands, all these hands here, I'm just going to take these right now. Actually, wait, before I go crazy removing things. Well, yeah, anything with a 9 and an 8, I'm going to get rid of. All these hands here, I'm going to just be checking back. So ace jack offsuit, king jack offsuit. Queen jack offsuit, gut shot. So this gut shot here, queen jack offsuit, I'm actually going to keep. And I'm going this hand I'm going to bet here as a bluff to get the fold. And jack 7 suited, we're going to put this in the, so 7, 8, 9. This here also 7. This one here I don't have to make it specifically hearts, because this is also a gut shot as well. So all my jack 7 suiteds, I'm actually going to bet here. Let's see, ace 10 offsuit can go, king 10 offsuit can go, 8, 9. So queen 10, queen 10 we can keep again as a gut shot, and we can bet this here on the turn to try and get a fold. Ace 9 will bet, and all these other nines we're going to we're going to just check back. Ace 8 will check back. All these 8s will check back. Ace 7, 5, 6. So again here, Ace 7, we're going to keep for the gut shot. We're going to bet that. 7, 7. Yeah. 7, 7 is interesting because 7, 7, has some showdown value here. So 7, 7. I think 7, 7 is actually a hand I'm going to actually check back with, even though it does have the gut shot. Its first real roll here is a pair. So I have no problem actually just checking back on this one here, because this hand can actually, in this situation, still has a slight chance to win at showdown. So 7, 7 will check back. And 7, 5 suited, we will check back. A6 offsuit, A6 offsuit, we will bet. 6, 6, the same thing goes here with 6, 6 as the 7, 7. So we'll just check that back. And 6, 5 will check back. And 4, 6. So 4, 6, if a 2 comes out, we have a straight. If a 7 comes out, we have a straight. So 6, 4 gives us an open ender. Of course, if a 7 comes out and our opponent had Jack 10, that's not really great for us. So we'd be hoping for a 2 to come out. So it's pretty, it's kind of weak in a way because of the fact that, if a 7 does come out, then we're kind of, we might be in trouble there, and we have a really tough decision on our hands on a river. But if in any event 6, 4, we're going to bet 6, 4. As you can see, a lot of this here is all bluffs, just to try and get this guy to fold on his check. Ace 5, we're going to check back. 5, 5, we're going to bet, obviously. With the set. 5, 4, we will check back. And Ace 4 offsuit. Ace 4 offsuit, we will bet. And 4, 4 here, we will definitely check back. All right, so this is what I'm looking at here on the turn. So again, pretty much what we're working with here is a bunch of bluffs here to get him to fold on his check and just to take the pot down now. But these are also hands that can still improve on the river. So we're not just betting hands for the sake of betting to get him to fold. We're betting hands that do still have a chance to improve on the river, and see if we can just take it down then and there. All right. So what's our equity looking like now? Again, he is still way ahead of us here, as it is to be expected, because of the fact that he check called. His range is looking much bigger than ours now, much better than ours now, since most of our range does consist of bluffs. I think it's going to be imperative that we hit something on the river here to get this win. And on the river, a jack comes out. So a jack does complete some potential straights for us here. So let's see what happens, because we have our queen 10 gets us a straight. So we have some queen 10s, which would get us a straight. He has queen 10s, of course, as well, in his range. Actually, no, he doesn't have any queen 10s. Okay, so that's interesting. He does not have any queen 10s in his range, because we took bluffs, if we took draws out of his range. So he doesn't have any queen 10s. So this puts us in much better spot if we have a queen 10. I think this really is probably a much better. This jack is definitely, this jack is a lot better for our range because of the fact that we have jacks where he doesn't he has very little jacks. He's got the only combo of jacks I have him with here is jack 9 suited. So the jack of spades is actually great for our range, and I think I would look that way now. It's yeah, look, it has definitely improved our situation. Again, we have a lot of air in our range, but we have more jacks than he does. Um, if we just take a look at it here, he has no straights. He's got sets. He's got some two pairs with Jack 9. So he's got his Jack 9. So he's got 9 combos of Jack 9, two pairs. And then of course he has a 9-8. But if you look at our range, we have 13 straight combos with Queen 10. And we got the sets. We have no two pairs. That's our one big issue here, is the fact that we either have a straight or we have a set which could be a bottom set, because he could have a set of 9s and he could have a set of 8s. We have a set of 5s. Not going to be good enough. We lose set over set. And we don't have any two pairs. So we're losing the two pairs. We might be losing to a bunch of sets here. But we have a straight, which he probably doesn't have. So let's see what happens with the betting. So he leads out again with his minuscule one big blind. So a minuscule one big blind to me says his hand he's got something, but it's not very strong. And I call it, which to me says I got something, but it's not that strong. So this says to me I do not have something like Queen 10. That's not something I ought to be doing here. So what we need to figure out first is, what is he doing this with? Well, I think that he is doing this with a lot of his range, with really most of his range. Do you think he'd be doing this with Jack 9 though? Do you think he'd be betting this light with Jack 9? Well, maybe one big blind is like this guy's default bet. Maybe that's like all he bets is one big blind. So can we realistically on a recreational player take Jack 9 out of his range? Realistically, I mean, if you're playing versus him and he flips Jack 9, he's a recreational player. Would you be completely shocked? You would shake your head. You would say, "What is he doing? Why would he only bet one big blind with Jack 9?" But you wouldn't be shocked to see it happen with this particular player type. So I can keep two pair in his range. Now, I think the hands that I could probably take out of his range are sets. I think sets, people love sets. People love two pair, but people really love sets. Okay? So I can take 8-8 out. I can take 8-8 out, and I can take 5-5 out, and I can take 3-3 out. Okay? Because people love sets. So he definitely doesn't have a set. What does he probably have? He probably has a pair of 9s, a pair of 8s, or a pair of 3s. I really think that's what we're looking at here at this point. And I really don't think we need to break it down really any further than that, because this is pretty much what we already had him going into on this river anyway. So now my call is interesting. What are we calling with for me here? Ace 9. I mean, you almost feel like I'm probably just going to call with any pair. And that's it. So Ace 9. So Ace 7, obviously, we're going to take out of my range, because Ace 7 I'm folding. I'm not calling anything lower than a pair. Not even for one big blind. So Ace 7 I'm folding. Ace 6 I'm folding. Ace 4 I'm folding. Ace 2 I'm folding. Okay. King Queen I'm folding. King Jack we're calling. King 10 we're folding. King 7 we're folding. King 6 we're folding. Queen Jack we're calling. Queen 10. So Queen 10 we're raising here. We're definitely not calling a straight. We're definitely raising Queen 10, so we can take that out of my range, because that is just something I'm definitely going to raise here. I'm not going to just call Queen 10. Queen 7, I'm going to fold. Queen 6, I'm going to fold. Queen Jack, I will call. Jack 7, I'm going to call. Uh, Queen Queen 10, I'm going to raise. Ace 9, we will call. Ace 7 will fold. Ace 6 will fold. 6-4 will fold. 5-5, I'm going to raise. So I can take this out. And Ace 4, I'm going to fold. So here are the hands that I would call. I would call one big blind for. So at showdown, as you can see, I have a gigantic equity advantage over him on this call. So now let's see how the hand played out. I gotta say, I'm really enjoying this range analysis. It's really so super helpful. He flips Jack 6 suited. Did I have Jack 6 suited in his range? I don't think so. No, we didn't have Jack 6 suited in his range. So Jack 6 suited is interesting. Before I flip my card here, why Jack 6 suited? Ace 9 3. He bets. All right, so 8. So 5, 6, 7. So he called the turn. So see, my idea of what this player would do was completely wrong, because he actually called the turn on a draw. He actually called the turn on a draw, which is kind of surprising for me here, because I would think a player like this wouldn't do that. He'd be a little more straightforward. And the fact he just like landed the jack on the river was great for him. But I don't know what the hell he was doing with his Jack 6 suited on, unless he just bet it because he had a backdoor flush draw. That's the only logical thing I could think of. I mean, he just had draws. So I'm actually really surprised. You know, my view on what this player would be doing was completely inaccurate here. Again, this is a tough player to kind of figure out, because of the fact that you know, with them betting one big blind, what exactly they're doing. But yeah, so he's betting one big blind on draws. But I'm really surprised he called my with the gut shot. I'm really kind of surprised he called. But that's the thing. These guys are bad players for a reason. They play post flop poorly. And what did I have? And I had 5-4 suited, which is not good. So I don't like what I did here at all. So let's look at what I did and why this was a mistake. And was it a mistake? Because the 5-4, yeah, that was a mistake. That was a bad play by me, because this is a 5-4. I should have checked back on the I should have checked this back on the turn, the 5-4. And I'm gonna go back and watch this, take a look in this video to see exactly what I was saying at that time. But 5-4, which I should have had in my original range. This is 5-4. I think it was in my original range. Yeah. Yeah. So 5-4 would have been a check on the turn. So I don't like this play by me here. And if I played this today, I would not do this way. I would just check back here. On the turn when he checked, I should have checked back here. And then what would have happened on the river is he would have bet, and if I had checked back, and then if he would have bet the jack, I would have called. But think about the difference, because look, my turn bet. was 5.2 big blinds. So I threw away 5.2 big blinds by betting this 5 here. I don't like that play at all. If I'm doing that and it's a draw, I'm okay with it. But here, I just don't think it's the right play on a pair of 5s because, my hand has very little shot. My hand had very little shot to improve. Where was my hand going to improve with 5-4? It couldn't improve. So this was a bad bet. My hand could not improve. At least if I'm doing it with all of those bluffs, my hand has opportunity to improve. So I bet here $5.20. When he calls, I'm kind of screwed in this hand. And as it turns out, he gets a jack, so be it. And I lost on this hand. I lost six. I lost 5.2 big blinds. I should not have lost. I should have lost my 3 big blinds plus on the 5 big blinds total. Instead, I lost 5.2. Poorly played. But you know what? This is why I'm enjoying this little activity. So anyway, I hope you had a good time. This was kind of a long video. I do apologize, but sometimes they're going to be long. But I'm doing this detailed, and I'm going to ask these questions I have in my Facebook group. But I think this is just such a really helpful activity. Even if it does take almost an hour and a half to analyze one simple hand like this one here. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. If you like what you saw, please do me a favor and subscribe. Click the like button, whatever you want to do. Until next time, Poker Dad.